Welcome all, and to all, a warm welcome. I'm Shahzeb Malik. I'm joined here with Connor, the Wizard Caligaris, Mike Cook, aka Mr. I Ran About Cleveland Sports, It's a Lifestyle, and the new executive producer, Jacob Tyler, aka KillJoy Jake. We've got a wonderful, jam-packed episode for you, ladies and gentlemen, today. So without further ado, let's get it started. First, we want to take a moment to send our condolences to Kobe Bryant and his family. Kobe Bryant and his daughter, Gianna Bryant, passed away, sadly, in a helicopter accident. It shook up the league. It's been insane. And then it's just we were all at a loss for words. I was actually here in the studio with Jacob. We were editing. We were editing stuff for a previous episode, and my friend texted me. My good friend Dayoud Nasser, my best friend since elementary school. He texted me and he said Kobe, and I said what? I went to Twitter and I looked up and I saw the news, and I mean we all had the same reaction. Like we thought it was all It was a fake report, right? But
I mean, TMZ does that. You know, you get a TMZ report saying something, you always take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very shocking that of all places, like TMZ was going to be the first one to report it as well.
Right. But my initial reaction was shock. I mean, Jacob was here. He knows. Like I just didn't believe it. I was at a loss for words. I was kind of laughing because we were just thinking, we were unable to record hoops on Saturday, what we usually do. Maybe there'll be some news, maybe there'll be, something that comes up that we can talk about. And sadly, that was the case. And the passing of a Titan, his daughter passed away too. We wanted to take the first thing is that this episode will not be monetized. And if it were, we would donate them to a charity, but we just don't want to do it. We can choose not to monetize it. And we're going to spend the first half of the episode talking Kobe, talking his legacy, the impact it has had on the league and on the world as a whole. And then we're going to take a 24-second moment of silence to serve as our break. And then we'll go on with the rest of the show. But Connor, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, actually, I was.
You're speaking to Mike.
Yeah, I was actually getting ready for work.
There we go.
I was actually getting ready for work, and we have an unbranded sports group chat, and one of you two said something about Kobe, and I thought it was like a joke, like, oh, Kobe did something. No, he did. Maybe he said something, and the people like on him on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on Twitter, and I saw the TMZ thing. It said no, Kobe Bryant has apparently died in a helicopter crash, and I'm like, oh, I thought saying this like that's TMZ. No, it's the fake stuff that the TMZ has happened before. So there was that doubt in my mind, and then more and more stuff started popping up. I'm like, this might actually be real.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into my living room, turned on the TV, and I tried to find like
ESPN or something like that.
Fox News was the first one that I found that had him on there, and that's when it hit me like this is actually real. Like, it's sad, but I think it's more shocking that just happened. And it wasn't. Shahzeb brought this point to me earlier today. That wasn't like something where it's like something you could be angry about. Like he wasn't involved in a shooting or an attack against other people. It was just an accident that happened, and what I want to say is it makes you think a bit that we're here for a limited time. It's and what we're going to be analyzing today is what Kobe did with his limited time here. He certainly did a lot.
He did.
And it's yesterday and today it just feels different because Kobe Bryant was someone who I'm sure many people that we know look up to, and many people millions around the world I'm certain of that look up to as well. And it still feels just that like you're still waiting for something to say that's not true, and it's tough when someone who's as influential as he was, when that happens, I don't know, it's still I'm still
Yeah.
surprised by him. So I'm still,
a lot of us are, man.
yeah.
Everyone is, yeah.
Yeah, but what Connor was talking about, and what I was saying was, this wasn't like a shooting. This wasn't a terrorist attack. There's nothing that we can rally against. There's no movement that we can do. There's nothing we can donate. This was just an accident. This was just human error, and it hurts more so because his 13-year-old daughter, who he was just grooming for the throne, of the next Black Mamba, perished as well as it was 7 others, including the pilot, a whole family, just gone in an instant. And it just, like I said, it didn't make sense, and it hurts. I didn't process it really till this morning. I kind of just woke up as I didn't shed a single tear yesterday, but today when I went to the shower, like, I just broke down, just crying. And I'm not a guy that talks about my emotions as much as some others might. But I think the reason why I kind of let it out was because I saw Devin Booker just bawling his eyes out. Doc Rivers, one of the toughest, most gritty coaches in NBA history, just ugly crying. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane to see the response from this league. And what I was seeing on Twitter was just cancel the games, let these men grieve. And I sorry about that. I totally agree. I mean, like, when someone who has touched as many lives as he has just is gone at the snap of fingers at an instant, it's gotta be a memorial. I mean, there's got to be some action taken. And props to Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, who announced that the organization will be retiring number 24. And I think that a lot of the team should follow suit. There's also a petition going around saying that they should change the NBA logo to
Kobe fading away.
or some. I mean, any iteration would be great. But now we just got the kind of the breaking news part of it out. Let's talk about his life and legacy. I mean, Oscar winner, 5-time NBA champ, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Was it like 11-time All-Stars, 12, something
15,
like that?
I
15.
think.
15 All-Star, and then like 11 All-NBA, something like that, if I'm mixing the numbers up. But what an illustrious career. I think, again, I don't want to be, I can't just move on like that. I can't just move on and be happy about it and be happy about his life. But it's what we have to do. And not to get super cliche, but like in Endgame, so my good friend Colin Nuccio, he was consoling me with this because he knows how much I Kobe meant to me. Kobe's been an inspirational figure for me with everything in my life, just chasing everything. Because he's not just a basketball player; he's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. He's literally a film visionary. Like, he won an Oscar for his short film Dear Basketball, and being that kind of renaissance man has pushed me to take college classes while in high school, to run this podcast, to open up this business, to keep connecting with people, to keep chasing my goals. And that's something that we like to do here at Unbranded Sports and with the company as a whole, is just chase. And I really didn't want. I think Mike Breen summed it up well. I don't feel like broadcasting today. And this is Mike Breen, the guy, bang, down, and all the iconic calls. And he says, I don't feel like broadcasting today. And that's how I felt coming in here today. But then I had a twinge, and that twinge was Kobe saying, don't ever feel like that again, because he wouldn't want me to sit back and just just give up. That's what. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
That's what I feel like all of the NBA players were feeling. I mean, obviously there were players like Kyrie that kind of said, you know what, I want to take my time and deal with this in my own way, instead of playing and just kind of ignoring it for 48 minutes. But Kobe, like, everyone was saying this, like, they knew that Kobe would have wanted them to play that day.
That's true.
Kobe was the guy that played pretty much no matter what. Like, he scored what? He was averaging 25 points a game with 2 sprained fingers.
Yeah.
And on his shooting hand too. And he played through it a lot.
His commitment to the game is something I've never seen in the entire history of sport. Mm-hmm. Not just basketball, but of sport.
It's not baseball. It's not just basketball. Kobe he transcends. You see multiple athletes posting pictures with him, talking about how that he inspired them. And it was Cody Bellinger too, who just won his NL MVP this year. He apparently got a video tweeted at him of Kobe congratulating him on his MVP winning a little less than 18 hours before the crash happened. So it goes to show you, like, Kobe transcended basketball. We've only seen a player like that a few times in
every century, man.
All of it, yeah. Like, you think about it, like, players like Shaq, yeah, he's great. He didn't really transcend basketball, though.
Kind of transcended culture, but not even close to what Kobe did. I mean, you look at all his ventures. It's insane.
That's the thing, though, is that's why people argue so much about where Kobe's placement is in NBA all-time list when we rank them. I know you have him top 3.
Yeah.
I have him top 7. But, like, that's the thing, is because people think about what you do off the court, and Kobe is up there, top 2, even maybe top 1, with just how he's changed the world outside of just basketball.
Yeah, I think Shannon Sharp was talking about it on Undisputed today, and or it was him and Skip obviously were talking about his contributions to the world, like in his second career. That was the term they were using, like. And as it compares to Jordan has not been as successful, like with the Charlotte Hornets, it hasn't been good. But when you look at Kobe, like, he was just getting started. Like, he had his body armor business. That was I remember, in 2013-14 watch, because I've always been a lifelong Kobe fan. I got this jersey, I would say, in like 6th grade, middle school, something like that. And it was Kobe has always been there for me, through all the trying times, through my battles, with my mental health, my battles with self-esteem, my battles with this business, with podcasting. Kobe's always been there. Kobe's always been the guy that's just, when I sit down, he smacks me and says, "Get up, you're not finished." And that's the kind of the mama mentality. It's not a joke. It's not like obviously it's become like a part of our culture, but and the best part of it, it wasn't over the culture, it was not around the culture, it was through the culture. And that's what Kobe did that I don't think any other player has done at that level. And just the sheer response to this whole thing, it's heartbreaking. But and the thing is, there's no good feeling right now. Like, at this time, usually is when everyone rallies and says, like, it's okay, let's get back to it. But Tyson Chandler, grown man, a veteran big man, was just sitting on the bench crying, at the start of the game. And all the, like I said, Kyrie Irving, like I read a tweet, it was like, don't be surprised if Kyrie decides to retire because of this. And I mean, I don't want to like make this a big analysis thing, but Connor, do you think that Kobe's unfortunate passing will result in the retirement of some players?
No, I think that Kobe would want them to keep. I think Carmelo Anthony said best last night after their win against the Pacers. They said that it was the toughest game he's ever had to play, but he was certain that Kobe would want them to keep playing, because that's just how dedicated to the game he was and how much he loved the game. It may take some players may take time off to be with their loved ones. But I don't think no one's gonna retire from it. And if anything, after they take a break to
to grieve.
Yeah, I think they'll come back, because that's what Kobe would want them to do. Is to keep playing, get back up. So I understand Kyrie 100%. It must be. I mean, you see how we are with this. I can't imagine how people close him like Doc Rivers must feel, or Kyrie must feel. I can't imagine what Vanessa Bryant feels right now, and
that's just terrible.
I can't. You have to think now. Those are 3 children who aren't going to grow up. They're going to grow up without their sister and their father. I can't even imagine what that must be like.
It's bigger than basketball.
It is.
Today, at our high school, I have a forensics teacher, Miss Weber is her name, and she said that she was talking about Kobe She usually after a weekend she will like tell us about the news and stuff. And she said about Kobe, and she feels the most for Vanessa right now. She said that if her husband died, she could still go on. She will survive. But if something happened to one of her kids, she doesn't know. You know, you can't prepare for something like that. And I don't know how.
Like,
I don't know how you ever recover from losing not just your husband but losing one of your children. You know, that's
that was kind of the thing, was that like it was they weren't even doing something that was like out of the ordinary for them either. They were doing something that they'd done hundreds of times in taking a helicopter ride. Like, that was something that they did together so much because that was Kobe's main way of transporting himself if he wasn't going long distances like on a plane or wasn't driving 15 minutes down the road. Like, Kobe, like, I think he had told about this himself. Like, he was so tall and his knees were so bad, he chose to go on helicopters if it was too short to take a plane, but also like too long to take a car in his mind. So obviously that was something he's done multiple times in his life, was take a helicopter.
He said this. He talked about this on on A-Rod's podcast. He said the reason why he why he started taking the private helicopter was at the time, I guess it was towards the end of his career, middle of his career. LA traffic was just so bad that he said, you know, I might as well get a helicopter so he can get to train, not so he can go and sit at the sit in the training facility, or he can get taken up. No, so he could practice, so he can hone his craft. And it just goes to show, it's a great testament to the contributions he's made to the league, to the world as a whole, as I've reiterated multiple times. You know, I'm glad that we had him. Sad to see him go, but I guess this is just part of life. And I think TPR from Per Sources on IG at Per Sources, great community. He one of the statements I really appreciated. He said, "I didn't cry today, but if you did, I hope it helped you, and I hope that you're in the process of healing." And he's a huge Kobe fan, just like all of us. And you know, it's, you know, this is a message to anyone watching. You know, if you are watching, listening, wherever it is, if you're hurting, if you need help, go and seek it. Because, you know, like the big theme going around is, you know, what this situation is, life is very precious, life is very short. So live every moment to its fullest, appreciate every moment, and the little things, you know, like getting home safe, like this is, and getting to and fro your destinations with the peace of mind that your loved ones are safe. It can be ripped at an instant. And I'm still processing it. I'm sure everyone here is still processing it, and the entire world is just hurting. And this is the worst type of hurt, because like I said before, this wasn't, I mean, thank God forbid it wasn't like a murder or anything like that, or anything like that. But it was something that could have been prevented. But at the same time, it's just the way the universe works. And, you know, I mean, I like to see the best in things, and I just know that, you know, Kobe's watching over us. He's hopefully he's liking the podcast. He's liking what we're doing.
Hopefully he likes our drive.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm telling you, we spent, and this is personal, but like we spent hours and days on end perfecting our craft, editing stuff, you know, working as a team to produce content. And Kobe has been, for me, I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure the team feels the same, that Kobe has just been that guy, that constant, that fire, that mama mentality. And it's you know, it's heartbreaking, world shattering. All the analogies you can use in the world to describe this wouldn't be enough. Let's spend another minute on this, and we'll take that break. Last thoughts, guys?
I just want to say one thing. Whoever I'm gonna reference something that someone else said last night on SportsCenter. If you have any issues with anybody, any beef, any drama, whatever, get that shit figured out. Like, the last thing you want is for the last interaction you have with somebody that you once thought of as a personal friend to be a fallout, to be yelling, to be screaming at each other, to be hitting each other. It's the last thing you want. Just get that shit figured out, bro. Connor?
Yeah, and when you said that just now, I saw a tweet from if you remember a few weeks back, Kendrick Perkins had Kevin Durant had
Their beef, yeah.
beef on Twitter. And, I believe it was last night. Kendrick Perkins reached out to Twitter to Kevin Durant to mend the fence. And yeah, I just think you guys said best. Just it's gonna be tough, but I don't know. I mean, just gotta hang on. We're gonna pull through this. Everyone is, but it's different. This one's different because it hurts in a different way. That you, like we said, no one was prepared for this, and it was just an accident. It could happen. It could happen to anyone. It's just an accident like this. So, we're thinking for his family. Thinking of them during this, I can't imagine what they must be feeling this morning. Think about his friends and his legacy that he left behind for them. At age 41, it's too early. I mean, for anyone, it's 41. It's just getting started with his, as they call it, second career outside the NBA, and it's there's never gonna be anyone like Kobe Bryant. It's not gonna happen.
You summed up pretty well. So we're gonna take a 24-second moment of silence, and in this moment, we're probably gonna have like a picture of Kobe or some montage. Producer Jacob will figure it out. So here it goes. All right, and we're back. So we're going to try to lighten the mood just a tad bit, and we're going to go straight into Around the Association. Run it up, Mr. Caligaris.
All right, so first Around the Association, the Zion Williamson saga. We've been at it for the past several weeks.
The return of Zion. It's biblical.
Zion Williamson finally made his long-awaited regular season NBA debut on the 22nd. It was losing effort against the San Antonio Spurs, but what a game by Williamson. My dad actually taped the game. I was at work that night. He taped the he turned on the final quarter. I'm glad he recorded the final quarter because he saw that insane run Williamson won. 17 points, including 4 threes, all in that fourth quarter. And it was just just a few minutes, and then he was pulled out. And the most hilarious thing that my dad pointed out is that you can see different Pelicans players going up to the table, check in, and then Zion would score, and then he goes go right back down to the bench. Derek Favors came up, and then they sent him right back down. Then they came up again, they sent him right back. And I believe Jackson Hayes came right up, tried to get in. They sent him right back to the bench. So, yeah, Zion Williamson, he's been averaging 19 points in his first 3 games. He got his first victory in his professional career last night in a 128-103 victory over the Boston Celtics.
You mean 123 to 108?
Yeah. I just said 123 to 108.
Oh, I thought you said 128 to 103 or something like that.
No.
All good.
To Kyrie, no Jason Tatum.
Kyrie, yeah.
Kyrie didn't play last night, but I had Kyrie on my mind. No, Kemba Walker did play, but no Jason Tatum. So
that hurt him.
Yeah, Zion. What have you guys thought about Zion's first?
Yeah, might go in.
It was I was actually at work. I wasn't able to watch the whole game, the whole Pelicans game on Wednesday night. I was at work, and it's like 11 o'clock. I'm like just starting my shift. I'm a security guard in case you guys don't know. And what happened is I get this text at like 11:30, and Jack Burney, shout out NFL Weekly, go listen to that if you haven't already. Shamelessly plugging.
Yeah, gotta plug.
Well, yeah, of course. But he texts the group chat, and it's like all caps, like Zion Williamson 17 points in a row, and I'm like going on, and I like checked NBA's app, and I'm like, Zion has 22 points right now.
Crazy.
And then like I'm looking at the game, and all they're showing is just replays and highlights of Zion's just massive run, and that was all I was seeing on Twitter, all I was seeing on Instagram that night. It was insane, and I posted the morning after. I do highlight posts. I do like stat posts on our Instagram. Go follow that, unbranded.sports, another shameless promo. The last thing that I said was like, I hope you guys are gonna start. I hope you guys are appreciating what you guys are seeing right now, because you're seeing the beginning of of greatness.
That's very true. I think Zion, he's been talked about for so long, and to finally see his debut is great. I think he's just what the Pelicans need. They're like right at the 8-9 spot, I believe.
I think they're like 10th or 11th.
All right, so then they're just at the point where they can get into that, those lower 6 to 8 spots.
Yeah.
But they just need like that push. You know what I mean? And like we saw Zion's monstrous swat into the fourth row. I believe, who was that against?
That was second game. That was Nuggets. He
Nuggets.
did it on Malik Beasley.
Oh my God! What a block! I was like,
Malik.
that's who we want. I mean,
Get your shit straight, Malik.
yeah.
Being blocked by a rookie. Come on.
You're a shooter, Malik. I don't know
Shooter,
what he was doing. I don't know what he was doing right in the paint.
You're what, 6'4"? Going up against 280-pound Zion.
And
okay.
just to see that energy, that enthusiasm from Zion, hopefully, he can get it going with this Pelicans franchise. I think if not this year, then definitely next year. They'll be strong competitors with a wonderful Brandon Ingram starting to sprout. Lonzo Ball is playing more efficiently. Drew Holiday's been playing. He's been hanging in there.
I think they're trading Drew Holiday, honestly.
I think that they just at this point they just kind of have to make that move. It sucks because Drew Holiday is a wonderful player. I think he's a more durable player than any player on their team, but. They're just going to have to make that move because they're focusing long-term younger players. And I think Drew Holiday is a perfect player to trade so that they could get some younger players. Who do you think that they would try to get in return for Drew Holiday if they're trading by the deadline?
Trading him by the deadline, that's difficult because, like, I don't know. I think, like, the only logical option would be the Philadelphia 76ers. But who are you... Like, I don't think...
Probably like Josh Richardson.
bring Josh, yeah. No, but
or
like...
Horford.
I was about to say, like, the only logical trade in that situation is going to be Al Horford. And I don't think that the Pelicans are going to want to trade, like... how old is Drew Holiday? Like, 28, 29, 30?
Yeah, he's getting there.
Yeah, and for a 34-year-old Al Horford, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Pelicans trading if they're trying to make a legit playoff run with Zion, I don't think they're gonna trade Holiday until the offseason. If they think they're gonna do it.
That's true.
I agree with
I mean,
that.
like, it's the idea of the like kind of keeping chemistry up because like you like chemistry means a lot. Like you saw it last year with the Celtics when they just kind of completely fell apart towards the end of the season, and suddenly you swap out somebody who a lot of people consider less talented, for Kemba. And swap out Kyrie, and suddenly you're one of the best teams in the league.
It really is the locker room presence that Kemba brings versus what Kyrie brings, and whatever Kyrie's going through, I mean that's something that he's got to figure out. But like we've said on this podcast before, like the entire media has been talking about, Kyrie has a tendency to be a locker room cancer. You look at his emotional issues, you look at the mood swings. Some of it is being blown out of proportion just for the media to get a story, but at the same time, like Kyrie the other day was like talking about like I'm like MLK and how I'm getting crucified for what I'm saying, and it's just completely blasphemous.
That really weird comment where he just kind of went up to Karis LeVert, I think is
to,
and he just goes like, "Hey, it's no coincidence that like the last time the Nets won a title, Julius Erving was leading that. Get it? Irving, and it's like, dude, shut up."
He's got to get his head in the game. You know what I mean?
And LeVert's is like, please get away.
Yeah. LeVert's like, dude, come on. I'm just trying to play.
He's just kind of looking at him, just like, oh, okay.
And it seems, I mean, if and that's why the one thing I talk about a lot with the Boston Celtics is if they have one wrong, kink in the arm or chink in the armor, it's gonna screw the entire machine.
Yeah.
And I think that was a perfect example of how that rolled last year. I mean, they didn't do great at all. But contrasted with this year, like they're second in the East, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe so. They're at second or third. Let me check.
Yeah, you check that. But I mean, like they're not more than that. They're really gelling as a team. They're having fun both on and off the court.
They're actually fourth in the East,
but it's like a game. There's like a game
it's
difference.
It's a game and a half difference.
Right.
Like Toronto, the only reason that Toronto's even up there is because they've gone on just an insane stretch recently.
Yeah. Pascal Siakam with an All-Star berth. And on that note, we're going to I was about to say All-Star starting berth. Yeah. And on that note, Connor, transition.
Yeah, I was actually about to interrupt you with Kemba because NBA All-Star votes they're back. This is it. This is our starting 5 for each of the East and the West. They're not doing the team captains and
they aren't.
They are.
Yeah. No, they're not doing like 2 guys and then each pick a team. They're doing in fact East versus West this year. For the East, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the captain, along with Joel Embiid from Philadelphia, Pascal Siakam up in Toronto, Kemba Walker from Boston, and Trae Young in Atlanta. And for the flip side, Western Conference, team captain LeBron James, with Clippers Kawhi Leonard, Houston Rocket James Harden, no Alex Caruso. They have to sell with Mavericks Luka Doncic and Lakers star Anthony Davis as their starting 5 for each side.
It's loaded, and
it is a loaded team. Yeah.
I mean, are there any picks that you kind of like disagree with?
I mean, really, the only thing that you can kind of argue is maybe Joel Embiid because he's faced injury issues. But even then, like with injury issues, Joel Embiid is still the best center in certainly the Eastern Conference, if not the entire NBA. Jokic is really the only one that gives him a run for his money. So I mean, it makes sense. Who would you? That's thinking about it. Who would you put in other than maybe Bam Adebayo as a starting center for the All-Star game for the Eastern Conference?
I agree. Bam Adebayo would be the only suitable replacement in my eyes. I think that everyone else, obviously there's a lot of other good centers and big men in the league, but nowhere near as essential as a guy like Joel Embiid. I remember when Joel Embiid first made his debut after 3 years.
Yeah.
He was killing it. He was dunking all over everyone.
The windmill dunk.
Oh my goodness. He took the league by storm. And now, obviously it's slowed down a bit because now they've got all the guys back. They're going through their growing pains and they're having, they're having these struggles. But Joel Embiid has still stayed solid when he's playing. Obviously every big man every player really goes through injuries. But I think what we see when Embiid comes back, that's going to be the real Embiid. And I think that he deserves this berth. Connor, what about you?
Yeah, like I said before, the hype around Joel Embiid is true.
The process.
His first season of playing. Remember that first game? It was against OKC. It was an ESPN game. Even though the Sixers the season before were the worst team in the league.
Oh yeah.
And now you see how full that place at Wells Fargo Center was. It was just everyone was just on their feet, just wanting to see this one guy play, see if he was worth the hype, and he is, more.
They even did the trust the process chance and everything.
Yes.
Of course, you have to at that point.
Oh, it was so great.
They got to bring those back.
I agree, dude. That was the thing, though. That was the driving force of Philly. When they came back and Ben Simmons debuted, Joel Embiid played a full season, or at least near a full season. And they had Rocco.
They had a really nice squad.
That really nice 2017 team where they had literally everything in shooting, defense, facilitating, a post game. They had everything. And I will say right now, if they had not traded for Jimmy Butler, they would be a championship contender right now. With how good Sarge and Rocco are playing.
I agree. I think that's I think the driving factor for the Sixers' success in their 2017 year was not. Obviously I recognize the impact of their squad and the way that they mesh, but I think it's more so the mindset, the whole trust the process that we've got to grind right now, that we've got to put this all together. I think that's what held them together, and that's what pushed them into where they are now. I do think Jimmy Butler, just great player. He's been playing phenomenal for the Heat, and it makes no sense that he's not in the All-Star selections, and it's because I was just listening to the Ringer NBA show, and they talked about this, and I totally agree. It's about the positioning, that they don't consider Jimmy Butler a guard. And if that were the case, I would swap him out with Trae Young in an instant, just because of how well the Heat have been playing, mostly at the direction of this guy like Jimmy Butler. But what do you think about to kind of divert? Do you guys think the Heat are a real threat or do you think they're more of a regular season team?
As
championship contenders?
championship contenders.
Yeah.
Or at least like do well in the playoffs
Yeah.
this year.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna do well in the playoffs. I think it's either gonna be them or Milwaukee.
Mhm.
I think that those are gonna be that's gonna be the Eastern Conference Finals between those two.
Yeah, that'd be. I would love to see is classic Celtics Lakers.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
But like at the same time, like you can't deny that I want to see Jimmy Butler going up against LeBron James in the playoffs as well.
that would be
And-
see, and to get started off, but like if in a Bucks Heat matchup, I think that the Bucks age will show in a positive way, and the Heat's age will show in a negative way. Their
Yeah.
youth is going. I think Connor, you talk about this a lot. Like teams, their youth shows. Like I believe the Hawks in 2015, like they won like 50 games, great season, and then their youth kind of showed. Like Jeff Teague was still kind of like figuring things out, like at a midway point, and then it all went to crap. And obviously LeBron, LeBron and the Cavaliers took care of business.
4-0.
4-0. Yeah, sweep. But back to
Bring out
All
the
Star
brooms.
voting. Western, the Western squad. Do you guys have any opinions on that?
Go
I
back,
think
go back
it's-
to it actually really quickly.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
It's Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, James Harden, LeBron, and Kawhi Leonard. Those are the 5.
I agree with that. That's
Yeah.
loaded. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like if that would
that's-
if they were,
There's no
imagine if they
games
played
there.
on the same team though.
Oh my God.
Like
The luxury tax.
the
Oh my God, the luxury
they
tax.
they wouldn't even really need another play like any other player.
You wouldn't need a bench.
Yeah.
Like you could have literally.
You get, like,
you
Smush
could have
Parker.
Jared Dudley sitting on. the
Yeah,
bench.
Jared Dudley. That
Your bench could consist of Jared Dudley, Jared Bayless, and J.R. Smith, and you'd still win.
and yeah, easily. Yeah, that's a good 8-man squad. I mean, that's really how the Lakers are playing, like with an 8-9-man squad.
Solid 9-man rotation.
Yep.
Speaking about J.R. Smith and players not playing, Andre Iguodala, he's still on the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Now, Andre Iguodala, he was on First Take a few days ago,
Yes.
where he said that he was ready to play for a championship contending team. Suitors are still saying Los Angeles, Houston, and the Clippers, all still there swaying. But the Memphis Grizzlies right now looks like they're not going to buy him out. They want something in return, but I don't think it's a smart idea for Memphis to not let him play
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to this another piece later. But an NBA player returned on the court a few nights ago to try to get some trade value for them. I'll get to that. I'll say who that player is in a minute.
Wait, I can't remember. Oh my God.
Or just
Duh.
let him go. Keep going. Keep going.
So I would think that if Memphis was smart, they'd let Iguodala play a handful of games just to show. Because remember, he hasn't played since Game 6 of last year's NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So no preseason, no nothing for him so far. No 1 minute garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in uniform. Not in uniform. He's been in street clothes.
So
Yeah,
is he attends all the games, right?
He's there, but he's not there.
Yeah.
No, but, so like, does he attend the games or not? I don't think he does.
I don't even think. Yeah, I don't think he does.
I'm not actually sure.
So I think it was the same situation with Dion Waiters.
Yeah. And he made his return too.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Well, speaking
Yeah.
about that,
So, yeah,
Dion Waiters sighting, he's back.
Stay off the weed.
Stay off the weed.
On the 24th in the Clippers Miami Heat game, no Kendrick Nunn and no Goran Dragic. So the Heat said, screw it. Dion Waiters made his return. 18 minutes, he had 14 points, including 4 threes. In a losing effort against the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, I think it's a smart move by the Heat to play Waiters just to show that he has some trade value. But I know they're looking to get rid of him and his contract before a trade deadline. Try to get maybe some picks for him because
Yeah. Like a second rounder. At
Yeah.
most, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
cash considerations. I don't think that unless it's like a part of a bigger deal that involves like a star player coming to Miami. I don't think a Dion Waiters trade for like another like bench player will reside in anything.
I think that like with Dion, like your best bet. I kind of want to see Dion on the Suns. Actually, thinking about it,
I mean, they're not doing anything. You know what I mean?
they're not
Like-
doing anything, but like at the same time, like it'd be interesting. at
Yeah,
least.
I agree. It'd be interesting, but I feel like Dion. So I was watching this game. I was at OU in Athens for an interview at OU, and I was watching this game late at night. And I kind of was like, so I was like going into the fourth quarter, the Clippers were down, and Dion was just like catching fire throughout the game, and he hit that. I just knew right when he got the block, I was like, oh, this guy's he's gonna pull up.
Oh, was it after the block?
Yeah, he got a block on Lou Williams. Of all guys, Lou Williams, the sixth man of the greatest sixth man of all time. You know what I mean? Like this guy, he blocks Lou buckets, and he goes straight to gets the ball off the catch and shoot, causes separation, open shot. late contest, and he drills it. And I was just waiting for him to do, this pose he did.
When he beat the Warriors.
He was like,
when he himself.
that's what I'm saying.
Warriors.
It's like look at the contrast between in a couple years where he was literally running this entire franchise, and again fucking Dion Waiters. It's like, holy cow, this is insane, right? Yeah. And then contrast that now with you've got a guy who's literally just
he turned into Michael Beasley.
Right.
Oh, Michael Beasley.
Oh, poor Michael Beasley. Oh.
Speaking about trades happened.
Trade has happened, yeah.
We got 2 of 3 trades. First trade was between the Portland Trailblazers and Sacramento Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Portland sent Kent Bazemore, Anthony Tolliver, and 2 future second-round picks to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for Trevor Ariza, Wenyen Gabriel, and Caleb Swanigan. Swanigan played for the Blazers for 1.5 years before being traded to the Kings. Gabriel's a rookie whose draft was signed by the Kings, and Trevor Ariza trying to get some big man presence for the Blazers. Because clearly an Anthony Tolliver as a stretch 5 was not going to work out.
Oh God, no.
No. And then for Sacramento, trying to get something going for their bench unit. Ariza wasn't getting it done, and now Kent Bazemore can provide a little bit of a spark. Anthony Tolliver's played for Sacramento before.
Yeah.
So
they saved like $10 million or so in luxury tax.
Yeah, it's definitely a luxury tax move by the Blazers. And speaking on that, there are reports and rumors that say that Hassan Whiteside might be on the move for the exact same reason, to avoid that luxury tax, and with Yusuf Nurkic coming back in the next few weeks.
Yeah, that would be.
It was earlier this week. It was last Wednesday, actually. It was his first full practice with the team, which shows, obviously, it means he's getting back and he's going to be back soon, which is awesome to hear because, a leg injury like the one that he had is a huge thing. And it's great to see him back so soon.
And he's a monster on the court, you know what I mean? Like him and Damian Lillard, what a duo.
Yeah,
and him coming back will be a great kind of like supercharge that they need to make a potential playoff run.
I agree.
And then the other trade, the big finesse, Willie Cauley-Stein traded. Go ahead, Connor, run it up.
Gotcha. Dallas Mavericks and Golden State Warriors did business just a few days after Bazemore and Ariza, we got the Bazemore Ariza deal.
Yeah.
Dallas will send a future 2022 second-round pick to the Golden State Warriors in exchange for Willie Cauley-Stein.
It's insane.
It wasn't even their pick either. It was a Utah pick.
And
the reason for this is Dwight Powell, if you remember, suffered a ruptured Achilles in a losing game against the Clippers, and the Mavericks were flirting with the idea of bringing in Joakim Noah, free agent, to replace that role, but now they got Willie Cauley-Stein, younger, longer player, and trying to get that extra big man on the team.
So we're gonna give this last few minutes thoughts, and then we're gonna call it for today. I think this is really good for both teams, which is weird because it looks like a complete finesse.
Yeah, I agree.
But like I think Mike, you mentioned that the reason why the Warriors are looking to make this move is because they want to sign a big time free agent like.
Well, they don't want to sign him. They want to trade for Karl Anthony Towns.
That's right.
So my theory is that this is what the Warriors are doing. They're not saying, you know what, screw it. We're gonna go in. We're gonna lose this season, and just kind of rebuild next year.
It's chess moves.
It's a chess game that they're playing right now. Because what they're doing, they're tanking, getting a high draft. So they knew Clay was gonna be injured for the entire season. They knew they were going to lose Durant. They knew he wasn't coming back. So what they're doing, they brought in D'Lo, and they said, okay, we're going to have him here for a season. If we do really bad, that's fine. And then Curry got injured, so it's like, okay, our season's down the chute right now.
Well, I think what they were thinking of is they're going to have Curry and Draymond Green, and that Russell, in case Klay Thompson did come back in this season, they're going to have Russell there until Thompson was back and healthy. But I think now it's clear that they're going to keep Russell for the long haul.
Actually, this is my theory, is that everyone's talking about, like, oh, they're going to trade D'Lo to the Timberwolves and he's going to be able to play with Karl Anthony Towns. No. They're trading him to the Timberwolves, but it's going to be for Karl Anthony Towns.
I agree with that.
So next season, I'm going to call this right now. Their starting lineup is going to be Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Eric Pascal, and Karl Anthony Towns. He fits their lineup very well, fits the style of play, a very good pick-and-pop player.
He's like a center kind of version of Draymond Green.
He is not, except...
And even better.
Except
Like
he's
with
not
shooting.
averaging a triple single.
Yeah. Triple single. Come on, Chuck. All right. So this concludes Season 2, Episode 8 of the Just Hoop Show on Unbranded Sports. Please check us out on social media at unbranded.sports. We'll plug all the rest of the socials in the bio. Thank you to our executive producer, Jacob, a.k.a. KillJoy Jake, for producing this wonderful episode of the first episode of the video podcast version of the Just Hoop Show and all the other wonderful brands on our network. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.